Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to untangle these surprisingly dark, twisted threads of a story you think you know, Rapunzel. I mean, we all know the name, right? The tower, the super long hair. But the original tale? Oh, it's a much starker story about desperate bargains, brutal betrayals, and some really, really grim consequences. So that kind of brings us to a big question. Why are these classic fairy tales so dark? Rapunzel's story is a perfect example. It's really less of a romance and more of a brutal look at human desperation, obsession, and cruelty. So let's dive in. Our story doesn't kick off with a princess in a castle or some noble knight on a quest. No, it all starts with something way more relatable. And in this case, a whole lot more dangerous. An all-consuming craving that sets a total tragedy in motion. And here's the setup. The core conflict, all separated by a single wall. On one side, you have this amazing garden, just bursting with life. And on the other side, you've got its owner, a witch so powerful that she's, and I quote, feared by the whole world. It's the classic irresistible object meeting an immovable force. And this right here, this is the line that changes everything. The wife's craving isn't just, oh, I'd like a salad. She is 100% convinced that she will waste away and literally die without these greens. This isn't just about hunger, you know? It's a life or death obsession, and that's the kind of pressure her poor husband is dealing with. And look how quickly this whole thing escalates. It's like a terrible domino effect. The craving leads to theft, the theft leads to getting caught, and that confrontation, fueled by the husband's absolute terror, leads to this unthinkable deal. He can have the greens, but the witch gets his unborn child. So that desperate pact has a consequence, and that consequence gets a name: Rapunzel. Right from the moment she's born, her life is completely defined by that deal, not by love, but by total isolation. Now, just think about that number for a second. 12. 12 years old. The witch raises this girl for 12 years and then decides the best way to protect her is to stick her in a tower. A tower with no door and no stairs, totally cut off from everything, right when she's about to become a young woman. It's unbelievably cruel. And the sheer scale of this is just mind-boggling. 60 feet. Her hair wasn't just long, it was a living rope. It was her only link to her captor, the only way in or out of her prison. It's both her most famous feature and the very tool of her confinement. And there it is, the line, the one we all know. But when you hear it in this context, it's not some charming little rhyme, is it? It's a command. It's the sound of the jailer demanding to be let in, a daily reminder to Rapunzel of her absolute dependency on the witch. So for years, this is just reality. The witch comes and goes, Rapunzel stays locked away all alone. But, no prison is perfect. An outside force is about to stumble on this little secret and, well, change everything. What's really interesting is that the prince doesn't find the tower with his eyes. He's drawn to it by sound. He hears Rapunzel singing to herself to pass the lonely hours, and this beautiful, haunting song just completely captivates him. It's her one tiny act of self-expression that actually pierces the silence of that forest and leads him right to her. So the prince starts watching. He hides, he listens, and he sees the witch use that famous command. And this quote, this is his big aha moment. He gets it. He's cracked the code. What was once a prison wall is now, to him, a staircase. He sees a way in. And they come up with a really clever plan. They use the witch's own routine against her. She only ever visits during the day. So the prince comes every single evening. Their escape plan isn't impulsive. It's patient. He brings a new skein of silk each time, and Rapunzel slowly weaves a ladder. For the first time, there's a real plan. There's real hope. But this is a grim fairy tale. You knew about what was coming, right? Just as freedom seems like it's right around the corner, the whole plan is completely destroyed. And not by the witch's cleverness, but by one single, innocent, tragic mistake. This is it. This is the moment. Rapunzel, in her naivete, just asks the question. She has no idea what she's really saying. In one single innocent sentence, she gives everything away. You can just feel the air go still as those words leave her mouth. And the witch's reaction is pure, unfiltered rage. But listen to her words. It's not just that she feels disobeyed, she feels like her whole life's project has failed. I thought I had hidden you safely. To her, this is a total catastrophic failure of control. And her revenge is swift, and it is brutal. Just two sounds: snip, snap. With a pair of scissors, she cuts off the very thing that defined Rapunzel: her hair, her connection to the prince, her ladder to freedom. It's all gone in an instant. The witch's cruelty is absolute. She doesn't just punish one of them, she punishes both. Rapunzel is banished to a desolate wasteland, trading one kind of prison for another, even harsher one. And the prince? He's tricked, leaps from the tower in horror, and is blinded by the thorns below. They're both just left completely broken and lost. So the story could just end there, right? In total tragedy? But it doesn't. The final act isn't about some big heroic moment. It's about enduring years of suffering and finding a tiny, miraculous moment of redemption. And this isn't a quick fix. We're talking about years. For years, the prince wanders blind, eating just roots and berries, driven on by nothing but the memory of her voice. His punishment was long and agonizing. After all that time, all that suffering, the reunion happens. He hears her voice again, stumbles towards it, and when she sees him, blind and broken, she weeps. And that is the magic that finally breaks the curse. Not a potion, not some powerful spell, just two of her tears fall on his eyes, and he can see again. So they go back to his kingdom, and they live, supposedly, happily ever after. But it really leaves us with a huge question, doesn't it? Is this a story about true love conquering all? Or is it actually a cautionary tale? A grim reminder of how one desperate choice or one careless word can lead to years of devastating pain, with happiness only found on the other side of all that suffering. And that right there is the darkness and the depth of the real Rapunzel story.